awaiting a full briefing to ensure swift action. The president assured that steps will be taken to prevent similar occurrence in the future. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau (NSIB) has confirmed that 6 passengers sustained injuries after a Kaduna-bound train derailed at kilometer 49 between Kubwa Station and Asham Station, according to the statement signed by the Director of Public Affairs and Family Assistant (NBSIS) Bimbo Olawumi Oladeji today. The accident took place at kilometer 49 between Kubwa Station and Asham Station. Current information also indicates that 6 passengers sustained injuries, though not fatalities or no fatalities were recorded. The NSIB confirmed that GO team has been deployed to the site to collect evidence, interact with stakeholders, and begin investigating the circumstances that led to the derailment. The Bureau assured that updates would be provided as the investigation progresses. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has called on stakeholders, including the National Assembly, religious leaders and traditional rulers, and even students, to caution the federal government against pushing university teachers to embark on nationwide strike. The zonal coordinator, ASU Akure Zone, Adiola Egbe Dokun, expressed deep concern over the alleged failure of President Bola Tinubu administration to attend to the various demands of the union since his assumption of office 2 years ago. Egbedokun, who spoke at a press conference at Federal University Oye-Ekiti today, said that the government's failure to heed ASU's several calls and agitations had pushed the lecturers to the edge, and their patience had been stretched to its breaking point. Meanwhile, members of the Academic Union of Universities, ASUs, from various universities across Nigeria, including the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Mina, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, University of Uyo, among others, have embarked on a nationwide protest to highlight what they described as the federal government's persistent neglect of its long-standing demands. But I'll move to politics now, where opposition coalition African Democratic Congress (ADC) has said that the decision of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the All Progressives Congress (APC) to begin talks about zoning their 2027 presidential tickets 2 years before the election showed that they do not care about addressing the plight of Nigerians. ADC's spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi, in a televised interview today, faulted the decision of the APC and of the PDP.
As far as ADC is concerned, we are not having that kind of conversation now. Zoning, where the president will come from, where the president will not come from. As you know, the coalition just moved into ADC just about 2 months ago. So there's so much work to do in building the parties, especially mobilizing the people at the grassroots level and setting up the relevant structures. So at ADC level, we are not having conversation about our presidential candidate for our party will come from.
Recall that yesterday, the People's Democratic Party at its National Executive Council meeting in Abuja zoned the 2027 presidential ticket to the southern region of Nigeria and retained its chairmanship in the north, while 22 governors of the ruling APC and some powerful organs of the party earlier in May adopted President Bola Tinubu, who is a southerner, as the sole candidate of the party for the 2027 elections. Meanwhile, the professor of political science, Jideofor Adibe, has warned presidential hopeful Peter Obi to be cautious of the African Democratic Congress (ADC) coalition. In a televised interview today, Adibe noted that Obi's journey to political victory would require active vigilance and deep thinking to prevent loss on his end.
I want to advise Peter Obi. He has his own advisors and he's not a political fool. In the end, he has to take his own decisions. But if I were him, I'll be extremely suspicious. And just like I have to know that this is a fox, somebody he will not demur in terms of using any kind of strategy to neutralize an opponent.
The professor, who described Obi as someone who always has a second plan to his decision, added that the whole structure is like a play, stating that in the end, like any chess game, it may work and it may not. The chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) South Zone Caretaker Committee, Emmanuel Ogidi, has vowed that the party will not hesitate to discipline members found engaging in anti-party activities ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking on national television today, Ogidi dismissed claims that the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) influenced the recent zoning of the PDP presidential ticket to the south, adding that party members who have openly endorsed President Bola Tinubu will be disciplined.
And the end of it has issued warning. We have told our members to refrain from endorsing. And this is just the APC agenda. It's not yet time. I don't know why people are in a hurry. Those are aside. We are watching our members. And of course, any party that don't have the discipline can never succeed.
The chieftain also stressed that the party's immediate focus is not on personalities but on rebuilding public confidence after years of internal crisis, including leadership tussles and disputes over the office of the National Secretary. An All Progressives Congress (APC) member in Edo State, Abdul Oyakire, has stated that citizens who criticize Nigeria and its components should show interest in the positive and development rather than focusing solely on the country's negatives. Oyakire, in a televised interview today, mentioned that Nigerians tend to spread and focus on the negative aspect of the country and do not promote the positive part, especially on social media platforms.
Bad news or negative information easily spread. You'll find that if you check an average Nigerian blogger's page, check this page, go through maybe 50 posts, 100 posts. The posts that are about Nigeria are mostly negative. So when the positives come out, you don't find people promoting them. And it is easy to be an opposition, to be honest with you. It is easy to find people who tell you I'm an opposition because as an opposition, it's easier for you to just speak with reflex action without careful reflection and thoughtfulness.
The APC member also stressed that the reason some or most Nigerians do not trust the government's policies is because of lack of communications. And human rights advocate Femi Falana has faulted the plan to increase the salaries of political office holders, describing it as a highly insensitive amid Nigeria's current economic challenges. Speaking in an interview today, Falana criticized the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission (RMAFC) for what he termed misplaced priorities, arguing that the agency had ignored the daily struggles of millions of Nigerians.
I want to believe that Ramfat has not taken cognizance of the living standard in the country, particularly the harrowing experience of ordinary people. The government has continued to appeal to Nigerians to exercise patience. That is a recognition of the fact that majority of our people are suffering. It is insensitive, therefore, for any agency of the government, particularly Ramfat, to suggest that there is going to be an upward review of the emolument of public.
Falana referenced recent data from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), which shows that over 133 million Nigerians are living in multidimensional poverty, questioning the rationale behind any salary increment for public officials. The Nigerian Law School has announced that applications for admission into the Bar Part 2 course for the 2025-2026 academic session will open on Monday, 11th September 2025. In a statement signed by the Secretary to the Council and Director of Administrations, Adiron Kaushaw, and posted on Council of Legal Education X account today, the school said the application window will close on Friday, October 31st, 2025. According to the statement, only Nigerian graduates of law from Nigerian universities and foreign-trained law graduates who completed and passed the bar course at the Nigerian Law School are eligible for the program. And the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered 6 banks to furnish the Inspector General of Police (IGP) with details of account and all transactions, including inflows and outflows linked to activist Omoyele Sowore from January 2024 till date. Justice Emeka Nweti gave the order after IGP's lawyer Wisdom Maduki moved an ex parte motion to the effect. The IGP in the motion had told the court that Sowore, the publisher of Sahara Reporters is being investigated on allegations bordering on terrorism financing, money laundering, and fraudulent activities. The applicant said there was a need for the courts to grant the relief sought for the purpose of investigation. Report has it that no fewer than 26 bank accounts linked to Showore are being investigated. You're still listening to News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Ido-Ekiti. Still to come, external reserves projected to hit $45 billion by end year. And that on business news. Do join us again.
Hello, good people of Ekiti State and its environment. For your private, political, family, or club meetings, and so on, of not more than 50 to 100 participants, we introduce to you Adamimogo Event Hall. Yes, right at Oladoyin Palace, Adamimogo 107.7 FM's compound, Ido Ekiti. Ample parking space, good security, clean environment. You also have the opportunity to book for a media publicity of your event on our fast-growing social media platforms. All these for a talking. Simply visit us at Oladoyin Palace, Ido Ekiti, or call the following numbers for more inquiries: 0803 526 5812 or 0916 340 0878 or 0806 511 4430. You can also call 0806 380 8891 at Adamimogo Event Hall. We are waiting for your patronage.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us again. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook via Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti. For happenings around your news enquiries, please contact our newsroom on 0915-786-8095. Now to the rest of the news. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to ensuring the state retains its position as Nigeria's leading cocoa producer. The governor made this known in Akure yesterday while inaugurating members of the Ondo State Strategic Committee for European Union's deforestation-free regulation, that's EUDR compliance. Speaking at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office, Aiyedatiwa noted that Ondo account for about 40% of Nigeria's cocoa production, making it the largest cocoa producing state in the country. He urged the committee to engage in broad stakeholders consultations and design strategies that would position Ondo cocoa for global competitiveness. The Oyo State House of Assembly has acknowledged a letter from the governor of the state, Seyi Makinde, notifying lawmakers of his plan to proceed on a 1-month leave from Thursday, August 29, 2025 to Monday, September 29. The letter read during plenary session today and presided over by Speaker Adebo Ogundoyin, complied with Section 190, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution, which requires governors to formally inform the legislature before proceeding on leave. Governor Makinde stated that Deputy Governor Barrister Bayo Lawal would assume duties as acting governor throughout the period. Speaker Ogundoyin assured the Assembly's support for a smooth transition and reaffirmed the House's committee to constitutional order and governance continuity. We now move to a segment now, and on business news, is external reserves projected to hit $45 billion by year end. Let's now join Patra Matthew for more details.
Good evening and welcome to Business News. Analysts have projected that Nigeria's external reserve would rise to about $45 billion by the end of the year, thus strengthening the ability of the Central Bank of Nigeria to provide a buffer for the foreign exchange market and general economy. This projection followed the rise of the exchange reserves to $41 billion last Tuesday, the highest level recorded in 44 months. According to CBN data, the appreciation in the reserve signaled a significant recovery following depletion driven by external debt debt repayments. The reserve have experienced a sustained appreciation in August, increasing by $1.56 billion from $39.59 billion on August 1st to $41.11 billion on August 22, representing a 3.95% increase in less than a month. Still on business update, the Nigerian Customs Service Apapa Area Command has announced a connection of 161 billion naira in revenue within 3 weeks via the Unified Customs Management System. In a statement released yesterday, the Customs Area Controller in charge of the command, Babatunde Olomu, disclosed this during a recent stakeholder engagement at the command. Olomu maintained that there are prospects of improvements in the system, even as he commended the stakeholder for their patience and understanding. And that's all on business news. I am Patra Matu.
Thank you, Patra. On the foreign scene, Iran vows reciprocal action after Australia expels envoy. Victoria Banwu has the story.
Good evening and welcome to Foreign Update. Iran has vowed reciprocal action after Australia expelled its ambassador over accusation that Tehran was behind anti-Semitic arson attack in Sydney and Melbourne. Iran Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baqi, during a weekly press conference today, stated that any inappropriate and unjustified action on a diplomatic level will have a reciprocal reaction. Recall that Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has earlier said that Iran was behind the touching of a kosher cafe in Sydney Bodney suburb in October 2024 and directed a major arson attack on the Adas Israel Synagogue in Melbourne, December of the same year. So on Foreign Update, the International Center for Justice for Palestinians (ICJP) has called for urgent UK sanction on Israeli political and military leaders after Israel carried out a double-tap strike on Nazar Hospital in Gaza's southern city of Khan Yunis, killing at least 21 people, including 5 journalists. ICJP noted that this pattern matches the investigations unit's evidence of systematic war crimes and crimes against humanity carried out in Gaza. Similarly, the World Health Organization confirmed that 4 medics were killed in Khan Yunis strike after rushing to help the victims' explosion, a hallmark of Israel's repeated use of double-tap attacks. And that's all on Foreign Updates. I am Victoria Banwu.
Thank you, Victoria. On entertainment news, Miss Universe Nigeria 2025 pageant kicks off with 22 contestants. Let's now join Mayomikun Omotade for that story.
Now, welcome to Entertainment Update. The organizers of Miss Universe Nigeria 2025 have unveiled 22 finalists who will compete for the crown at this year's pageant, which places emphasis not only on beauty but also on advocacy. The contestants, drawn from states across the federation, were introduced through the competition's official website. The post also added that the winner will succeed the outgoing queen, Chidinma Adesina, and go on to represent Nigeria at the Miss Universe International Finals later this year. Camping for the contestants began on Sunday, with the ladies engaging in a series of preparatory activities ahead of the grand finale, and voting has also commenced on the Miss Universe Nigeria website. Still on Entertainment Update, American rapper Montero Hill, also known as Lil Nas X, has pleaded not guilty to injuring a police officer and resisting arrest after he was detained last week while wandering the streets of Los Angeles naked. The 26-year-old rapper is facing 3 felony counts of battery with injury to a police officer and 1 felony count of resisting arrest. If convicted, he could face up to 5 years in prison. According to the police, when they responded to a call about a nude man wandering the streets, the Grammy-winning artist charged at them. Authorities, however, said he was taken to the hospital for a possible overdose after the incident. And that's all on Entertainment Update. Thanks for joining us. I am Oluwamayomikun Omotade.
Thank you, Mayomikun. In the world of sport, Super Falcons captain joins PSG on permanent transfer. Mayowa Olashui is standing by.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Updates. Paris Saint-Germain have strengthened their forward line with the signing of Nigerian international Rasheedat Ajibade, announcing the signing in its blog post on Tuesday. PSG said Ajibade's contract will run until 30th of June 2027. The club said Paris Saint-Germain is delighted to announce the arrival of Nigerian striker Rashidat Bosayo Ajibade, who has joined the club on a deal that runs until 30th June 2027. Still on sports, Bayern Munich is closing in on a deal to sign Chelsea striker Nicolas Jackson on loan. According to reports, the 24-year-old Senegal international is reportedly set to join the Bundesliga side after both sides reached an agreement. Jackson's absence from Chelsea's squad for their match against West Ham on August 22, 2025, and earlier friendlies against Bayern Leverkusen and AC Milan has fueled speculation about his future. Chelsea's recent signings of strikers Joao Pedro and Liam Delap have pushed Jackson down the pecking order, making a transfer to Bayern Munich more likely. And that's all on sports. My name is Mayowa Olashuyi.
Thank you, Mayowa. And with those sports stories, we end this edition of News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Ido Ekiti. Just before we go, the highlight again. We told you that President Oladoyin was expected to officially launch Nigeria's revised National Counterterrorism Strategy NAC test in October, following the completion of an extensive review process designed to align the nation's security framework with emerging threats. We also brought to you that the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has called on stakeholders, including the National Assembly, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and students, to caution the federal government against pushing university teachers to embark on nationwide strike. Finally, we reported that analysts have projected that Nigeria's external reserves would rise to about $45 billion by the end of the year, thus strengthening the ability of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to project a buffer for the foreign exchange market and general economy. And that's News Express this evening on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Olojudo's Palace, Ido Ekiti. On behalf of the production crew, led by Folawumi Olanio, I am Oladoyin Ayegbusi. Many thanks for listening.